Welcome into Locked On Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies won a baseball game. They won the series ender in Colorado against the Rockies. We'll break down the exciting action for the Phillies' first win in about a week on today's episode.
You are Locked On Phillies, your daily Philadelphia Phillies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in to another episode of Locked On Phillies. I'm your host, Connor Thomas. Thank you for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. I've been talking Phillies baseball for years over on 97.5 Fanatic. Now happy to be with you here as your host of Locked On Phillies. And man, it feels like it's been years since the Phillies won a game. I didn't even have this beard. I was clean shaven the last time they won. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it felt like it was forever. They went ahead and they lost 3 series in a row still. So they're not out of the dark yet. They're not out of the tunnel, but we're seeing the light at the end. The Phillies won a game. Not only did they win, but they put up 9 runs in that win. A 9-6 victory over the Colorado Rockies in a nice effort from the Phillies back on Wednesday, heading into an off day. It's very important mentally for a team to win games going into off days. It can change the entire feel of a travel day, especially when you're taking not the longest flight, but a long flight from Denver back to Philly. You've got some time to chill out and kind of recharge. It feels much more earned. It feels much more deserved when you get that off day following a nice victory. And hopefully that allows you to mentally get in the right spot and continue that. Well, it's not a streak yet, but what hopefully could become a winning streak. Let's break into how the Phillies took down the Rockies on April 20th in Denver, and we can break down exactly what the good things were that the Phillies did in this series ender. First of all, let's go ahead and look at the starting pitching matchup because Zach Eflin went 5 2/3 innings pitched. He got hit around a little bit. He gave up 9 hits and he gave up 4 runs. You kind of felt like, okay, well, Eflin wasn't terrible, but he wasn't at his best. He gave up 2 in the bottom of the first, and he gave up 2 more in the bottom of the 5th before he worked out of that inning and then was relieved in the 6th inning with 2 outs gotten. He actually gave the Rockies an opportunity in the 6th inning, but ended up not getting hurt by it thanks to a solid relief effort. The relief comes from Brad Hand, who got 1/3 of an inning pitch and actually got the win because the Phillies would take the lead following that 6th inning where Brad Hand relieved Zach Eflin. So let's go ahead, or they wouldn't really take the lead, rather they would even up the score and then go ahead in the 7th inning is where they would get it. So pitching in the bottom of the 6th would have given Brad Hand the win when the Phillies scored in the top of the 7th. Now, the way that the Rockies scored those runs in the first couple of innings, so scoring in the bottom of the 1st and then scoring in the bottom of the 5th. Let's just go through that real quick so you have an idea. It was a double to deep right center by McMahon, scoring Chris Bryant and Randall Grichuk. And then in the bottom of the 5th, Randall Grichuk hit a sacrifice fly. Charlie Blackmon moved up to second, and then he scored on a single by C.J. Cron. Cron crushed the Phillies in this series. He's on fire right now to start. Blackmon always plays pretty well against the Phillies, it seems, because he's just a good player. And you're going to have to get through. They're not exactly big bats. Well, right now, C.J. Cron is. He's unbelievable compared to what's going on in the Major League Baseball. He's batting .333. He's got some great power numbers, got great slugging percentage, .813 slugging. So, yeah, he's unbelievable right now. And the Phillies worked around that. How'd they do it offensively? Well, look at some of the numbers. The guys you really want to highlight, Nick Castellanos with a 3-for-4 performance. He's now batting over 300 on the year at .306. He's really come on strong and started to heat up. He was a big part of the Phillies making those games at least close in Colorado and finally winning one. He had 1 RBI only, but some big hits there to go ahead and give the Phillies an opportunity to score 2 runs. So he accounted for 2 of those runs of the 9, 3 being the difference. Those are important. Kyle Schwarber had himself a nice day with 2 RBIs, only 1 hit, but he had 3 runs scored on the day. So that's nice. Got on base via the walk once as well. And then Johan Camargo, the real star of the game. A big home run in this one, but he went 4 for 5. He's batting .382. Alec Boehm is batting .476. I mean, the bats are starting to wake up for the Phillies. If the pitching can come along, they've got a chance to really hit a hot streak here. And here's the scoring summary for what happened with the Philadelphia Phillies going in chronological order. So we can tell you how big those at-bats were. You know who had good games, but who had the biggest at-bats for the Phillies in this one? Well, the Phillies were scoreless until the fourth inning. Those early innings, either they score in the top of the first and go quiet for a while, or they don't score until like the fourth or fifth at all. The second, third, fourth innings have been relatively quiet for the Phils, but in this one, the top of the fourth, Nick Castellanos hit a home run to center field, and then Alec Boehm followed it up with a home run to right center, scoring Kyle Schwarber. 3 runs in the inning, all of them via the home run. So once you start getting the long ball going, you feel like, okay, the Phillies got something there. And the Rockies had those 2 runs scored in the top of the first, or the bottom of the first, rather, that I told you about. Well, the Phillies take the lead in the fourth. Then the Rockies come back in the fifth, and they get the lead back. They score 2 runs there to make it a 4-3 ball game. You're like, here we go again. Zach Eflin gave up the lead, and now they're going to go to the bullpen. The bullpen's got to hold them. The offense has to wake up. Well, Kyle Schwarber comes up, and he nukes one to right field, 468 feet at the time, which was the top of the 6th inning on April 20th out there in Denver. 468 made it the second longest home run in the majors so far this year. And it was a triple decker out there in Denver down the right field seats where it rises almost like vertically up. Oh my God. The way he hits the ball sometimes is just absolutely beautiful. It's just, it gets me going a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Watching moonshots like that get me excited. My engine's revving. Just thinking about Kyle Schwarber just demolishing a baseball. It was I can't say how many times how beautiful that home run was. And the Phillies haven't really had a guy. Harper does it every once in a while. But the guy with the pop like that, I want to say since Ryan Howard was here, the Phillies have not had a guy that casually hits the ball that far. Bryce Harper has the ability to do it, but Kyle Schwarber, it just looks different when a big, beefy guy like that just mashes one. So that was awesome. Ties the ball game up. And then the top of the 7th. Well, everything broke loose. The dam broke free. And that felt like the real breakout point for the Philadelphia Phillies to this point in this skid that they've been on. Kyle Schwarber was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded to start the scoring there, 5-4. Then Alec Boehm, a sacrifice fly to center. Harper scores, Nick Castellanos the third. So it's 6-4. The Phillies now have a 2-run lead, and they have a little bit of room to work with, but not enough, according to Johan Camargo, who comes up and nukes one to left field, 433 feet. Another moonshot. Nick Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber score on that one, and just like that, a 9-4 game. Camargo with a homer there. He's just been incredible this year. You remember how good Ronald Torreyes was down the stretch last year when Alec Boehm got sent down, and he got brought in to basically be the everyday third baseman over there? Well, Johan Camargo is like, he's not actually on steroids. I don't mean it literally, but he is like Ronald Torreyes on steroids. Obviously, a much more, I don't even want to say reliable, but just more a realistic option at the major league level than Torreyes. Johan Camargo could be an everyday player at the major league level, and he's showing right now why he could be and what his ceiling is. He's been incredible for them. The Rockies did get a couple back in the bottom of the 7th off Juris Familia, who struggled this year. C.J. Cron with a double deep center, and McMahon with another RBI there with a double as well. So it's a second double with RBIs on the day, 3 RBIs on the day for him. But it was not enough. It was 9-6, and then the Phillies bullpen shut them down the rest of the way, rounding out after Juris Familia got pulled with performances from Jose Alvarado and Corey Knebel, both with clean innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, a strikeout each. And just like that, the Phillies have won a ball game. They improved to 5-8. And you know what? If you ask me what their record was, I would not say they're 3 games below 500. It feels like they're much lower than that. Still very early in the year. So that was a nice little bounce back performance from the Phillies. And hopefully they can carry over that momentum to the Milwaukee Brewers series, which starts tonight. And speaking of those Milwaukee Brewers, there's a really, really lucky break that the Phillies got heading into this Brewers series. I'll tell you about it in just a second. First, though, I want to tell you about Built Bar. I tell you about Built Bar all the time. When the Phillies hit 4 home runs in the game, you know they had to have had their Built Bars pregame because it gets you beefed up, it gets you strong, gives you the ability to hit the second longest home run in the major. You can do all that with Built Bar. Well, maybe not you, but you can do great things with Built Bar. Get in great shape for summer, work out at the gym, and get more out of your workouts. It's awesome. That's because Built Bar has only 130 calories, 17 grams of protein. So it probably tastes bad, right? No, not at all. You get 100% real chocolate with Built Bars. Plus, they're all about the taste. Listen to some of these flavors: mint brownie, coconut almond. Plus, they have protein-infused marshmallows. How could that taste bad? It couldn't. It doesn't. That's because at Built Bar, they're all about the taste. They make it taste delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but they pull it off every single time. So I want you to go to built.com and use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. Now, a Built Bar is a great gift for you to get yourself, but come on, you can't give like a Built Bar for Mother's Day necessarily. That's where Blue Nile comes in. A great combination. Built Bar, Blue Nile, you get something nice for you, and then you go over to BlueNile.com and you get yourself something nice for the special lady in your life. Is it your mother? Is it your wife, a girlfriend? Whatever it is. Blue Nile's got gifts for everybody that you're shopping for this time of year with Mother's Day right around the corner. They're a great purveyor of fine, everyday jewelry. Stuff like tennis bracelets, cocktail rings, nice diamond jewelry too, bracelets, gold layering, anything that you think, wow, that would look beautiful on that special woman in your life. Go to Blue Nile. And it's great. I don't know how to shop for girls. I don't know how to shop for my mom. Like, her birthday's coming up. I'm going to get her something nice from Blue Nile because she loves earrings. She loves those nice little bracelets. And I can't pick them out, but Blue Nile has the best selection. You can't go wrong with everything. This Mother's Day, you want to give your mom a gift that she's going to treasure forever. It's not Father's Day where you can just get a throwaway tie and pretend like that's okay. No, you got to get mom something special. So that's why you need to go to Blue Nile to get a beautiful, fine piece of jewelry, or 2 or 3 to get her and make her remember how special she is to you. And you know why you can get 2 or 3 or 4? That's because you go to BlueNile.com and you use Locked On Sports as your code. So Locked On is the code, and listeners get $50 off a purchase of $500. That's a podcast exclusive. It's only good through Mother's Day, so take advantage. Again, that's code Locked On. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging. Won't give away what's inside. So even if they're stupid, they won't know what you got them until they open it up on their special day. So go ahead and check out BlueNile.com for the best in everyday fine jewelry. All right, so let's get into a little bit of a preview of the Milwaukee Brewers series that the Phillies are heading into at home. The Phillies with a 7-game homestand. They've got 3 against the Brewers and then 4 against those Colorado Rockies they just played. The Rockies, red hot right now. That's not going to be all that fun. But the Brewers, this is a very winnable series. In fact, I think they should win this series. And let me tell you why the Phillies got a big break. I teased you a little bit before. Well, here's what I'm seeing. The Phillies, they played 3 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. But the pitching matchups, it's about as good as you can hope for. You saw that. Like, thank goodness. It's almost a sigh of relief because Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff, the 2 big arms from Milwaukee, the Phillies avoid both of them. Corbin Burnes, of course, the Cy Young winner last year in the National League, stole that award from Zach Wheeler, in my opinion. But, of course, the voters felt like he deserved it. And, well, I can't say that he necessarily didn't. He had an incredible year. I thought Zach Wheeler was more deserving. But Corbin Burnes is nasty, and he's got another great start to this season. The Phillies do not see him, and they do not see Brandon Woodruff. Both of those guys have just pitched for the Brewers, so the Phillies get the back end of the rotation. It's a beautiful thing, and Ranger Suarez goes tonight, which gives an opportunity for a pitcher to get right. Not only do the Phillies benefit from not seeing the best 2 arms for the Milwaukee Brewers, but to this point, the Brewers are barely hitting over 200 as a team, batting average-wise. That's good for 7th worst in Major League Baseball. They're not a good hitting team right now. They may not be a good hitting team all year. There's still some guys in this lineup that could hurt you individually, but it is a perfect opportunity for a get-right stretch for the Phillies pitchers, the Phillies bullpen, and to get that team ERA down. They need to lower that still. Giving up more than 5 runs a game is not sustainable, regardless of how good your offense is. The pitchers need to be better, and sometimes you just need to face a struggling team offensively to get that confidence up, to see yourself take advantage, or even if you have that confidence, just to get easy ones. You know, when you're golfing, I don't know if you're a golfer, I'm a big golfer, but when I have a 3-foot putt, it doesn't necessarily make me feel like I'm a great golfer to hit a 3-foot putt. Anyone can go out there and do that. There are 5-year-olds that do that at a mini golf course all the time. But seeing the ball go in it's got a nice mental feel to it. Sometimes you got to see the ball go in the hole. Sometimes in basketball, you have to see the ball go in the basket. Well, sometimes in baseball, even though it's not the toughest lineup you're facing, you got to see yourself have success, and it breeds more success. So when the Phillies pitchers take the mound against this Milwaukee Brewers lineup that's struggled mightily to this point, it's a great opportunity for them to get right. Love it. The other thing that's absolutely beautiful for the Philadelphia Phillies, when you look up the matchup, let's just talk specifically about tonight's game, which is going to get going here in just a little bit. A 7:05 start against the Milwaukee Brewers here in the beautiful city of Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park for the first time in over a week. The Phillies are back off that road trip. Well, the pitching matchup, Ranger Suarez, I've already told you, is going for the Phillies, but Freddie Peralta throws for the Milwaukee Brewers. Peralta has an 11.57 ERA this year. He's 0-1. He's walked 6, and he's given up 10 hits in 7 innings of work. More than a hit an inning. He's given up a home run already, which we saw when the Phillies faced the Colorado Rockies in that final game. Pitchers who have given up home runs, well, they normally have trouble against this Phillies lineup because they're a home run hitting team. It's a small sample size, but Peralta is susceptible to giving up big offensive nights. And Ranger Suarez has not had a great start, but he's a better pitcher than Freddie Peralta. I feel very comfortable in saying that. So let's go out there and get ourselves a win. It's a good matchup for the Phillies hitters with Freddie Peralta. It's a good matchup for the Phillies pitchers with a struggling Brewers lineup. Everything points towards the Phillies being able to take advantage of this one. And you can wipe that slide that they're on because they've had a full 2 days now, the day that they won against the Rockies and the off day yesterday, to feel like winners. That is a contagious feeling and one that the Phillies can hopefully use to push them over the top and get them ready to go on a nice little winning streak here, or at least win a series before they get ready to head back into NL East contention, because they've got the Brewers, then they've got 4 against the Rockies, and then they head up to New York. They head up to see the New York Mets for the second time this year. And I'd rather the Phillies be rolling in there with a nice streak before they take on the team currently in first place in the NL East. So that's what we're looking at tonight. That's what we're looking at for this series. A big opportunity for the Phillies here against the Milwaukee Brewers. I'll have you every step of the way. No days off the rest of this series, and I'll have you for all of the games in the Colorado Rockies series. We'll have daily podcasts of that off day. We regrouped. We did the same thing here for Locked On Phillies, but I'm with you. I'm giving you daily updates and Locked On Nows and everything as we roll through these next couple series. Speaking of Locked On Nows, thank you as always for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. I also want you to check out Locked On Nows in podcast form. You see me post the videos, you see my immediate reactions, but go ahead and check out Locked On Now, because they have reactions from everyone around Major League Baseball, all of our hosts. Locked On Rockies, you can watch them be upset when the Phillies take them down. Same thing with Locked On Brewers, hopefully tonight and the rest of this series. You can see what's going on the West Coast if you don't stay out for those games. You can see what's going on in the rest of the NL East. All of the latest immediate reactions to games going final available on Locked On Now. They put together it in a nice little package, and you can watch. It's basically like SportsCenter, but instead of having just someone national talking about it, you have local hosts reacting immediately. It's an awesome way to consume breaking news. So check out Locked On Now. It's only available here on Locked On Network, but of course, available wherever you get your podcasts. So go ahead and do your best to check that out. And of course, continue to check out our Locked On Nows, as I predict the Phillies are due to get hot. The last thing I've got for you today, we've got Stepping Off, a fun little side topic where we step outside the lines of baseball, talk about something that doesn't necessarily pertain to the game. We're going to go through that with a fun little conversation that I had on air today. This one is a little bit more baseball-centric, but it's something I need to voice my opinion on. I'll tell you that in just a second. First, I got to tell you about BetOnline, though, because BetOnline.net's your number one source for all of your betting stats and sports info. Find all of the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's basketball playoffs. The Sixers, I keep telling you about them when I do these reads. They're up 3-0 on the Toronto Raptors. You probably could have known that if you checked out the odds on BetOnline and saw, oh, Sixers are favored in this series. Throwing some money down, won some money. It's some great stuff. Check out the basketball playoffs and all the bets there on BetOnline. And of course, baseball season. We're starting to get in the swing of things, but the Major League Baseball season has all the information you could need available on betonline.net. And that's because BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sporting wagering information, from live betting to playoffs to esports even, and more. They've got everything you could ever need. And if you don't believe me, head over to the website yourself. You should head over to the website even if you do believe me. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. Bet online, where the game starts. Okay, and stepping off, I want to go through a fun debate that I had with, if you're familiar with Philly Sports Talk Radio, you know the name Mike Missinelli. I actually just got done on TV. It's why my hair is all done up nice and everything, and I'm dressed up nice because I had a TV spot today with the Mike Missinelli show. I was sitting in and producing that program, and we got into a little bit of an argument about the shift, and I wanted to carry that argument over to you here on Locked On Phillies. So Mike's argument was that he likes the intelligence it takes to play the shift. He likes the ability of the defense to be savvy and see the stats and take away something. He thinks it's smart defending, and that's why he doesn't understand why people were so anti-shift. He thinks anti-shift is almost anti-competition, anti-edge that you can gain by studying an opponent. It's like playing a certain defense in basketball, like playing a zone when a team doesn't shoot all that well and tries to go to the basket. Well, he's not wrong. The shift is very intelligent. And this is coming from someone who hates the shift as a pitcher. Mike also played the infield, so it could be something as a position player versus a pitcher type of thing. I'd be interested to see how that sets up. Maybe that's a poll somewhere in our future. But for me, even though I hate the shift, I understand the intelligence of it. It's smart. You're taking away what players do, and it's changed the fabric of the game to the point where launch angle has become more of a part of the game. Not hitting the opposite way, but trying to just hit the ball as hard as you can through the shift has become a common practice in Major League Baseball today. So I'm not arguing that. But here's essentially what the banning of the shift next year is to me. So it's like the 3-second rule in basketball. This might as well be a basketball crossover episode. I've mentioned it so many times. But in basketball, if you're defensively in the key, inside the painted area, defending the basket for more than 3 seconds consecutively, it's a technical foul. And it's a free throw for the other team, and then they get the ball back. You can't do it because basically what they're telling you is you're not allowed to play there because it gives you too much of a competitive advantage for the people who run the sport to allow. That's what the banning of the shift is. Not that it's not intelligent, not that it's even not necessarily fair. What it is that the powers that be in charge of Major League Baseball have said the competitive advantage gained by doing the shift is manipulating the game and bringing it to a place where we don't want it to be. Not that it's not smart, not that it's not fair, but people who are in charge have decided that they don't want the game to go in the direction that the shift takes it. They feel that that's changing the game too much, so they're taking it out of the game, which is their right. And it's something they voted on. It's something they passed. It's something that was up to them, and I'm perfectly okay with it. Now, I am anti-shift, so that's part of the reason why I'm perfectly okay with it. But that's the comparison, the best comparison that I've been able to come up with as to why the shift is being banned. It's just like the 3 seconds in basketball. You can't play in a certain spot because the league does not like the power or the advantage that playing in that spot gives you. So they've removed it from the game. It's frankly what it is. That's why I've got no issue with it. That's my thoughts on the shift, and it's why I'm cool with the shift being banned. I'm actually pro the shift being banned. I've been on that train for years, and I'm happy they're finally doing it. And I don't think people who like the shift are unintelligent. Quite the opposite. I fully see the advantage you gain. But what you have to understand is it's not about the advantage gained. It's about what the people in charge of the sport think is best for the sport. And they go ahead and they decide that you shouldn't do it anymore because it's changing the sport too much. And that's where we sit. It's out of our hands anyway, but I just wanted to share my thoughts with you. So get at me in the comments about how you feel about the shift being banned, if I'm right, if that analogy makes any sense. If not, you can call me an idiot. That's fine. I got thick skin. I want to go back and forth with you because that's what makes this fun. It's a debate. It's a conversation. Conversations are never fun when you both agree, unless it's a significant other. And then you always want to agree because that makes life easier. But I'm not your significant other, so let's disagree. Let's argue. We get smarter and we learn new things when you go back and forth with someone. That's all I've got for you for today for Locked On Phillies. It was a fun, quick episode reviewing a win. It's so much more fun. These episodes are so much more upbeat when the Phillies win, and hopefully we'll have more of those coming here, and the Phillies can get on a nice little win streak as they take on the Milwaukee Brewers. I want to thank you again for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Now I want you to check out Locked On MLB with Sully, Paul Francis Sullivan. He's the best, so I'm going to be doing a crossover with him next week, so we'll be able to share that with you. But he's a baseball encyclopedia. He does our Locked On MLB podcast, covers the entirety of the Major League and the past, the history of baseball. It's a great show, so go ahead and make that your second listen today. And as always, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. You know the spiel already. Please do that as it helps out. Make Locked On Phillies the best show it can be. But unfortunately, the best show it can be is now over for the day. And I will speak to you all, hopefully after another Phillies win tomorrow.